It's no lie that AI is replacing certain PMO roles right now, because while working with dozens of enterprise planning teams across hundreds of active initiatives, I'm seeing it happen live every day. And the reason it's happening at such a rapid rate is that certain PMO roles were built almost entirely around work that can now easily be automated with AI. So today, I'm going to name exactly which PMO roles are at the highest risk and walk you through 3 things you can do that'll ensure you're not replaced by AI. In fact, these same 3 things will make you and your team exponentially important in your company's own AI strategy. This conversation is super important right now, and I'm passionate about helping the PMO community thrive. This is a critical time and a critical conversation. If you follow me on YouTube or LinkedIn, you know this is all I talk about. Let's get into it. The PMO roles being automated first. Let me go through the 3 role types I'm seeing replaced the fastest, starting with the one I'd be most worried about right now. The first is the PMO Coordinator, whose job is built almost entirely around organizing and moving information, specifically scheduling meetings, building status reports, and keeping tracking systems up to date. That work isn't just being made faster or easier by AI, it's being eliminated completely, because an AI agent can now generate current project status in seconds from the same data sources that used to take someone hours to manually compile. The second role type at risk is the PMO Analyst, whose job is to take project data and turn it into executive summaries. Generating summaries and synthesizing progress across multiple work streams is exactly what AI is built to do at scale. And when a platform can produce a board-ready executive summary from a live project data in 1 click or less, that work stops justifying a full-time role. The third is the project manager, whose primary work is running the weekly status meetings and tracking who owns what, chasing team members to complete work and update their status. That core function of keeping everyone informed of where things stand is now handled by automated dashboards and AI-generated updates. Add to these 3 any other project management roles with junior or analyst in the title. In total, it's more than 400,000 jobs estimated to be severely impacted in the next 3 years in the PMO community alone. The roles that are being eliminated first are those focused on task management, reporting, coordination, document and presentation creation and updates, data analysis, driving, coordinating, and holding meetings with project stakeholders, and actual project execution work, like setting things up, configuring platforms, and writing code. Most of this work is broadly project execution related and all very important, but also all low leverage, right in the sweet spot for AI to automate. What remains after all of the execution and coordination layers removed is the judgment work, which is exactly what we're talking about next, because this is where you need to lean in. But real quick, if you're leading a planning team and want to move your PMO organization out of the task management and coordination layer of execution and make a greater impact on strategy, alignment, prioritization, planning, and governance as soon as possible, I've built Force Equals to make that possible. It's the first AI native operating system designed specifically for enterprise project planning. And you could try it for free by clicking the first link in the description. Reach out to our team and start a pilot. Anyway, let's keep going. The reasons these roles are being restructured now rather than gradually phased out is that AI can handle coordination and reporting work continuously, asynchronously at enterprise scale with zero overhead. A status report that took a coordinator hours to compile, format, distribute can now be generated in seconds from live project data, and it updates itself as the project changes and moves. The role existed specifically to do that work. So when the work gets automated, the role goes with it. These aren't roles losing a task or two. The whole job is being automated at once, and the number of projects enterprises are managing right now is making all of this happen even faster. The average enterprise is managing hundreds of active projects, and that number is growing, which means the coordination overhead humans were trying to do manually was becoming unsustainable anyway. AI isn't just replacing the work, It's also solving the problem that was already making the manual approach impossible to scale. The PMO work that's completely safe is the work that requires something AI fundamentally can't provide. But it's also areas where a lot of PMO team members are currently less comfortable. Governance, deciding what your organization should actually be prioritizing, and managing accountability for decisions across your organization all fall into this category. None of these topics are going away. Governance is the clearest example. When a project hits a real decision point, like if the budget needs to increase, the scope changes, or stakeholder conflict comes up, there needs to be a process or someone with the organizational trust and authority to resolve it. AI agents can help in these moments, but there's a call that only someone with the right expertise and authority inside the organization can make. Another area is designing and implementing AI guardrails. Over the next 3 years, your company's going to deploy something like 500 to more than 2,000 AI agents across every workflow and in every line of business across your organization. Not Gen AI deployments or co-pilots, AI agents that are actually designed to work autonomously. And these are complex AI projects. Designing their deployment boundaries, when these AI agents need to hand off to humans for decision support, how they do that, what data is available to them and when, what data is not allowed within vastly diverse workflows. These are all really difficult planning guardrails to design and deploy. Basically, how, when, and why will agents collaborate with the human decision makers? How do we keep the humans in the loop? How will the agents flag critical insights they uncover? How will they communicate these insights to your team, key stakeholders, and other AI agents? This is the modern organization's biggest challenge, and PMO professionals are completely prepared to step in and design, orchestrate, and participate in operating these agentic ecosystems within the enterprise. This guardrail design work requires a combination of business, technical, and project management skills that are anchored by a disciplined and principled approach. Stakeholder alignment and risk mitigation becomes critical to enable scale and success. PMOs uniquely have this skill set. This is a new critical control layer for the modern enterprise, and PMOs can own this work and deliver strategic influence in enterprise business over the next decade. Strategic planning is the other area that isn't going to get automated. AI can help analyze which projects to prioritize and manage dynamic impact to strategy by the real-time changes from within the business and from external market changes. But orchestrating the questions to determine what your organization should be working on requires business judgment calls tied to context, relationships, and history. While an orchestrated agentic system can organize the work, expand context, identify key stakeholders, ask intelligent follow-up questions, and tee up decisions, managing the stakeholders and driving final calls across decision points requires ownership and discipline. The PMO professionals who orchestrate systems that own these questions and decision points are not in the risk zone for being automated by AI. When you strip these roles down to their core function, and you end up with two categories: moving information or making decisions. Coordination and reporting work is at risk because all it really does is collect information, pass it along within the workflow. Governance, accountability, strategic planning are safe because they require decisions and the systems to orchestrate authority to back them up. So with that said, let's get into how you make sure you're in the decisions category. The first move is to stop tracking whether the plan is being followed and start owning how decisions get made within planning. Instead of tracking whether the project plan is being followed, you need to own the upstream early phases of planning, how strategy impacts prioritizations, how new ideas flow into the portfolio of potential work, the governance framework, the guardrails, the intake criteria, and the decision-making processes and protocols that run the whole system. You need to stop solely focusing on executing the plans that are handed off to you and the project work that is already in flight, and shift your focus to the layers of work that come before execution even starts, all the planning work. This is a shift. You need to focus on the junction of where strategy is impacting priorities, where priorities impact which ideas get planning attention and momentum, and the quality of the plan context, stakeholder alignment, conflict resolution, risk mitigation, approval flows, and then finally intake to execute the project. Another way to put it, you need to participate in answering the following questions for your organization. What should we be working on and why now? Is this idea worth pursuing? Do we understand the problem well enough to proceed? Are we truly ready to execute? And can we confidently hand it off for execution and project delivery? The second move is to stop assembling the weekly status deck and start owning which projects your organization should actually be running. Instead of assembling the weekly status deck, you need to own the question of whether the right projects are even being pushed forward to execute. Do we have enough resources to deliver, but also which initiatives deserve resources? Which should be cut? And what does the portfolio need to look like 6 months down the road? This never gets automated because it requires organizational and systems judgment that only someone embedded in the business can have. You need to stop projects that your team's already working on that need to be stopped. But even more importantly, you need to stop a lot of new projects from getting started in the first place. This doesn't mean fewer projects, just fewer of the wrong projects. And your PMO team needs to build the skills so that you can stop projects, not just back burner them, completely stop them, even when political or power dynamics in your organization are in the way. This is really hard to do, but you need to do it because no one else will. If your enterprise needs to deploy 500 or more AI agents in the next 2 years to keep up with the competition in your unique market, you can't let 100 or 200 of the wrong projects to get started. You can't let them get started if they shouldn't be prioritized, if they won't deliver your business strategy, if they won't drive the impact your business needs. It's easier to stop projects before they get momentum. So you need to participate early at the critical junction where the idea pipeline meets strategy and prioritization decisions take place. And then you need to help with the follow through planning. So decisions, risk, stakeholder alignment, lack of momentum can guide when to push the accelerator or manage decisions to drive the project to the off-ramp and stop it. If you've not stopped a project before, I'd recommend setting a goal of trying to participate in stopping 1 or 2 projects this month, maybe 2 to 4 next month. You need some reps at the plate. Learn how to use data, context, strategy, and alignment to signals to remove the politics from these recommendations. AI agents in modern planning operating systems can help you with this. Learn how to challenge power by helping those leaders come to the right conclusions themselves. Lead them in the right direction. Help them make the right decisions. That's how you become an asset to power. This is how you actually orchestrate power within your organization. This is both process and art, and PMOs can make this impact. Remember, strategy is defined more by what you choose not to do than what you choose to do. And the fastest way to accelerate execution is to eliminate everything that shouldn't be executed in the first place. This frees your team to focus on the right things. This frees up resources. This accelerates the critical change and ability to plan, deploy, and adopt the critical AI agent solutions your business needs to deploy in the next 2 to 3 years to stay competitive. The third move is to stop doing all of this work yourself and start being the person who runs the platform that handles it, guides it, and automates it. Instead of spending your day compiling updates and running status meetings, managing manual documents, presentations, and templates, and herding cats across your organization, first become the one setting up the enterprise planning operating system that assists and automates everything we've touched on in this video. By taking ownership and setting up a planning OS, you gain end-to-end efficiency, support, and help in the idea to outcome cycle of planning. You gain authority. You deliver the exact system your company needs to scale its own AI adoption strategy. Let me show you exactly what this looks like for a real team inside Force Equals. Deploying and orchestrating a planning OS in your business makes you future-proof, because when you have something that handles all of it, your role stops being the person doing the work and starts being the person who owns the system that does it. What that produces is maximum leverage, where you and your team can plan 10 to 20 times more projects with the same headcount. The version of PMO roles that are going away are the ones where all of that coordination and reporting work is done manually, or where the workflow is managed manually. Remember, if you execute work, move to owning the design of work. If you own the design of work, move to orchestrating the systems that are used to design the work. Increase the leverage you and your team deliver to the business. So if you want your planning process to work exactly like what I just showed you, again, you can try it completely for free by clicking the first link in the description. We can work with you and your PMO team to deploy a pilot that proves the impact in your own organization. And if you want to dig in deeper and see exactly how to increase the leverage and automation in your planning process using AI agents, then check out this next video.